all that and other things.
I'm not going to disturb you, sir.
So now we got to go all the way out to the northern side of the island. But before we go through, this is considered the older area of the island. This is called West Road, and this is the largest fishing coastal area. This is where most of our fishermen live. Now I'm going to show you a few shanty houses or wooden houses.
Good dog.
To have. So for example, coming up to my right, these homes right here, they were built like in the early 1800s. And the local government passed a law in 2006, if you're going to build or rebuild, it has to be on a cement or cinder block. I want you to take a look at the roof. See, it looks like a collage. But the last one we had in 2017, the whole roof actually blew off. The local government came in a couple of days later and they sprayed a red X on it, which means it should be demolished. They came back in 2 days, the house is repainted and the roof is reapplied. So it's like cat and mouse. So a lot of the folks that come from Hispaniola, they usually stay in the houses like these where they're paying like small rent. But like I said, God forbid if a fire or a hurricane tears it down, you have to rebuild it back the correct way. Now we have to build according to a Category 4 hurricane, which is about 140 miles an hour wind. So our houses have to be out of solid cement or cinder block reinforced with steel rebar, 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch or 5/8. So a lot of people now are buying those wooden houses, they're knocking them down and building these nice structures. Take a look to the left. This is a log villa. If you're looking for someplace nice and quick to stay, this gentleman is Richard from North Carolina. This is 3 villas, very popular. A lot of people stay here. Once you stay here, you get the bikes, you get the Segways, also you get a rental car. Here's another nice one too, the Reef House. This guy, actually, I think he's from Michigan, and he's been here for a couple of years. He invested into the island. This one here to my left is owned by a local guy, was Average Freighters. He has about 3 of these on the island, recently divorced. His wife, ex-wife Dale, she stays there, Dale Freighters. And take a look at this one to the right, which is a very popular one. It's called The Drift. These folks were moved from Chicago. They're retired here. He used to be a firefighter, and they have 2 units in the bottom that they rent out. They have a very nice pool at the back. Coming up on my left-hand side, this this is actually a 2-bedroom house. This sold a month ago on the water. Can anyone guess how much this property sold for? I'll tell you. How much you think this sold for?
$675.
Let's go a little bit higher.
$2 million.
Not 2, but 1.2.
Whoa.
1.2, yeah. You know, we have a song that said, Jack have to pay to be on the beach. To the left here, guys, our local fishing market. Our fishermen start at 5 a.m., come back at 5 p.m. every day. So we get fresh fish, conch, and lobster. Normally, as locals, we don't have to put our fish on ice, so we get fresh fish every day. The doctor said it's good for the body, omega-3s. To the left here, guys, this is an excursion that is done to the cruise ship. A local gentleman by the name of Luigi. It's called the Tipsy Turtle. You pay $150 a person. They give you the food, the drinks, you enjoy the beach. Now, if you want a private cabana, that's going to run you at least $500 to $600 to rent it. As we continue down to the end of the road, this house here has been recently restored, and it was partially made out of wood. I heard his Wrangler Jeep exploded and burned it down. So we rebuilt it back out of solid cement. And if you notice here, all the windows are intact. So this is like a hurricane center. This is like a hurricane center, very sturdy. And this is how the local government expect everyone to build, but honestly it's very costly and pricey, and this is on the water as well too. If you look all the way down, this is one of our popular beaches called Pillory Beach. We used to have a nice dive resort hotel there, but it's not there anymore. And a lot of folks still come to the beach to swim, but I'm going to be truthful, there's no restroom facilities, so it's kind of hard. So I guess if you have to do number 1, you go into the water, right? Take a look to the right here. If you want to find cheap land, you can get property here starting $40,000. No one wants to build in this area because it's prone to flooding. Whenever these 2 big salt ponds in the front here, they connect together, they fill with water, this whole area is flooded. So the local government actually just built this bridge right here. Because before, when the 2 ponds come together, the locals have to use their kayak or use their giant boats to get across. But now we can drive across, and the kids name it the Brooklyn Bridge. These 2 bodies of water connected to the ocean, so in the afternoon, don't be surprised if you see like a striped mullet or even a pop shark jump. There's a lot of them inside here. And there's locals on the island. We know when the day is going to be hot because the water is actually hyperglyphic orange. On this island, we have 4 schools, 3 public, 1 private. And all education here on the island is free except for the private schools. If you look straight ahead, you can see the multicolored building that's orange and with the green roof. This is the North Primary School. So all the kids that live in the West Road and Overback area, this is the school that they attend. Schools open at 8:30 and finish at 2:30 p.m. And all the kids is mandatory that they have to wear uniforms as well too. If you look to my left, these are more of our Airbnbs, but the turquoise house is a gentleman from North Carolina, Richard, that's his personal house that he's building. And all of these are all beachside rentals if you're looking for some place to stay on the beach as well. Coming up on my left-hand side here, this is an apartment rental. It's called Chelsea House. It was built in 2003. This is where a lot of the nurses and the doctors, they stay at, close by the hospital. Please take a look to my right. This is our state-of-the-art hospital. It was built in the year 2012. It was built by a Canadian company called Intel Canada and is ran by a Canadian company in collaboration with the local government. Our healthcare system is very good. Everyone here is covered. We only pay a copay of $10 to visit the doctor. Imagine, you could do a knee replacement surgery, have a baby, open heart surgery only for $10. With procedures they can't do in-house. They'll send us places like Colombia, United States, Jamaica, recently Venezuela as well too. And guess what? People still complain. They're only paying $10.
Wow.
Here's the next settlement, and that's allotment as we travel on to the northern side of the island. To my right is another church, the Lighthouse Church. This is ran by some folks out of Waco, Texas. And right next to that, this is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. This is where the English congregation go to, and this is also one of the private school faith preparatory. Now, if you look straight ahead, it looks like mountains, but it's not mountains. These are all hills. They're actually made out of limestone. And a lot of locals own the hills. They sell it to the government. They grade it down. To get curry, they use the sub-base when they're making roads, or even when we're building our homes. For the floor, we use that same curry. So if you own a hill, of course, that's a lot of money. You're going to be seeing another body of water momentarily. Now, the difference with this body of water, it is inland. It's in the middle of the island. According to the last historian, Desar Marvel, right, he traveled to San Salvador in the Bahamas because they claim that is where Christopher Columbus made his maiden voyage. But according to his journal, he said the island was shaped like a bean or a pea, which looks just like Grand Turk, and had a body of water going through the middle connected to the ocean. So straight ahead, you're going to see the North Creek, and this is where they believe Christopher Columbus discovered the New World in 1492. He made his maiden voyage right here. This creek is very special to a lot of anglers because it's connected to the ocean. We have mangrove snappers, we have yellowtail snappers. There's also shrimp and lobster and crabs inside of here as well too. We also have sharks. There's a few bull sharks inside of here. But truthfully, on the island, sharks is a local delicacy. So as we say, we eat them before they eat us. That's a joke. All right, and this whole area is protected by the 3 types of mangroves. We have the red, the white, and the black mangrove. This is also a safe haven where we put our boats if your trailer is not working in working condition. So the bigger boats, they normally come in the creek where it's not really inclement, especially when we have hurricanes. Take a look to my left. This here is one of our mangroves. We call this the red mangrove. The nickname, we call it the walking tree. You see the roots, they look like they have legs. So a lot of mangrove snappers and juvenile fish and crabs, they live inside of there.
Okay.
Coming up on my right hand side, you're going to see more apartment rentals, which is quite popular on the island. This is something that most locals on the island, they prefer to invest in apartment rentals. There's always people coming to work and live on the island. They need places to stay. This yellow one is actually a Haitian plumber guy. This is third set of apartments on the island, and before he completed it, it was already rented out. A gentleman from Canadian moved here in 2006. He started building this. In 2008, he got hammered by a Category 5. He wasn't insured, but he doesn't want to sell it. That's Hurricane Ike remnant right there. The truth be told, most people who own property on the island, they tend not to sell it because, for example, if you sell a piece of property this year for $100,000, by next year, that's going to be at least $150, $160. So the younger folks, they sell everything, but the older folks, they hold on to everything. Coming up straight ahead, you're going to see a life-size statue of the Honorable James McCartney. He was our first president who the airport is named after, who died in a plane crash coming out of New York. So one of the locals who grew up in this area kept the front to visit. He actually erected a statue to pay homage to the late Jackson McCarthy. So in 1980, we were supposed to have self-internal government. In 1982, we were supposed to have full independence. But the plane crash happened in 1980, so a lot of people felt it was sabotaged. So now we're going to go all the way up to the northern side of the island. This area is called the Ridge, and years ago, this used to be like one of the most affluent places where everyone wanted to build because of the elevation. But when we leave from here, we're going to go to Breezy Brae. We will get to see the highest elevation on the island. And as we go up, you're going to see a concentration of donkeys. They're all over the place, but most of the donkeys, they hang up in the area by the lighthouse. That 40 to my left means 40 miles an hour. This property on my right-hand side right here, this is called the Taj Mahal, a local by the name of Lulu Durham. He owns that and actually has it for sale. This is where the local government is renting before their building gets finished. He sells the cheapest fuel on the island, $7.35 per gallon. If you're looking for someplace a little bit more high-end to stay, coming up to my right here, this is called the Arches, this yellow building with the red roof. We had a couple that built it out of Fort Lauderdale, Wally and Cecilia. They actually bought satellite television to the island. Wally had a serious heart attack, so they sold the property and moved back to the States. A Canadian couple bought it. They have a very nice restaurant called the Rich Cafe. Also, a lot of folks stay here during the end of the whale watching season. From your balcony, you can watch the whales migrate back up north on the Atlantic side, back to Canada.
Wow.
To the left here, all this property is owned by the same gentleman, Lulu Durham, who owns the gas station. And on my right-hand side, you're going to start to see the Atlantic Ocean. When you get to the lighthouse, it's a free entry inside. You go to the back, you get to see where the Atlantic and Caribbean merge together. There's a very nice view of the Atlantic and Caribbean together. You might see a stingray, or even a nurse shark, or even a black tip as well. They're usually swimming around. Unfortunately, you wouldn't see the whales today because the migrating season is January to end of April. You might notice in the road you see some brown patches. The donkeys, they defecate in the middle of the road instead of using the shoulder. So the local government have about 8 guys hired to clean it. They're called the poopa scoopers. So don't be surprised when you see some guys in the middle of the road scooping up some of the manure. And sometimes in the afternoon they come by the house, actually you want to buy some fertilizer.
Yeah.
It's good for the coconut trees. So as we get closer, you're going to start to see the historic Brentwood Lighthouse. And the reason why that lighthouse was erected here, because momentarily we'll show on my left-hand side, the boats were wrecking on the reef, and in that area it's very shallow. It's only about 2 to 4 feet. So for us as locals who live here, we know that's very shallow, so whenever the boats wreck, the locals would walk on the village. And take a look to my left, you see the water breaking on the reef right there? And that area is only 2 to 4 feet, and we have over 1,000 shipwrecks that are here. We're not allowed to salvage it or disturb it, because actually can be fined. You can go to prison for that. So that would help to kill the salt industry, because the boats weren't coming here anymore, and still we were still mass producing salt. So the ship owners contacted the Queen of England. They told her, if you don't erect a navigational aid at the northern side of the island, we're going to start calling on Brentwood. So that same lighthouse was fabricated in the UK in the early 1800s by the Chance brothers. It was sent here on a boat in pieces in 1852 and got installed here. And most recently, we discontinued a lot of people to physically go up into the lighthouse because of the district here. But if you guys want to take some photos to the front end, you can do that. And like I said, also there's a very nice view in the back that I recommend you go take a photo. Also for the ladies, there's a very nice swing with Brentwood on it. I recommend you sit down and take a few photos of that as well too. Very picturesque. Take a look to my right. I know you might be used to seeing deer crossing, but this sign right there, we have donkey crossing. So when it's donkey mating season, if you see one donkey run across the road, you better stop because another one is coming. And most times when it's donkey mating season, we have a lot of accidents here. Unfortunately, the insurance companies don't cover donkey accidents. You know the reason why? Because you need 2 signed police reports. And a donkey can't sign a police report, so that means that you get nothing. Look straight ahead, you see where these 2 tanks are at. In the early 1950s, 52, this used to be a U.S. naval base, an outpost in Midland in 1982. They gave it to the Turks and Caicos government. So now it houses our community college. When our students graduate high school after 5 years, they can come in for 2 years, get the associate's degree. There's also credit that they can get their bachelor's. So we have students that come from Jamaica, Venezuela, even St. Lucia to come here at school. And for the locals, education is free. The local government, they're really vying or pushing for all the kids to go get educated. And here's why: we have a 97% graduating turnout, and you can't work for the local government unless you have a minimum of an associate's degree. So making sure they go to work. So welcome to the historic Renton Lighthouse. We're going to be here for 20 minutes, guys. I'm going to set my timer. We're going to take off at 11:47. There's also restrooms inside of here. You go to the gift shop. There's a gift shop here, a bar and restaurant. To my left, there's a gentleman that sells carrots here. If you want to buy one at your own risk and feed the donkeys, you can do that. There's a gentleman here that sells coconut as well, too. I'm going to park in an area that we can get out very easily. So, guys, I'm going to let you out here, and I'll park right over here. So when time to leave, then the block is inside. So we're going to leave at 11:47. The entrance is to the left, okay? And you go for a walk.
They're just walking around. And the dog.
Don't stand in the back of them.
It's a dog. Oh, you can pat him on the head.
Because they think that they got food.
Hi, donkeys. Y'all close. Hi.
A little play bike, but it was a little.
Let's go. Over here.
Handsome, I give to
Look, Grand Turk. If the rock is wet, it's raining. If the rock is swaying, it's windy. If the rock is dry, it's sunny. If the rock is hot, it's still sunny. If the rock is white, it's snowing. If the rock is cool, it's overcast. If the rock is bouncing, there's an earthquake. If the rock is gone, there's a hurricane. Is that dog dead over there? I see. I got jerk chicken with
wrong with it.
yeah.
Breathing fast. It's hot out here.
No, that is. Ain't nothing wrong with it. We keep just enjoying some rubs.
Don't do that.
We got friends and we got to link. I tell you what the hot girl think. I got money and I ain't come to drink. Turn on the radio to my market, so to my favorite songs. Head to the
Grand
party,
Turk.
I just